Okay, guys, I guess we'll get started. My name is Christy Caneapple, and I'm the marketing director here at Business Information Solutions. And today we're actually going to have Philip Long, the CEO of BIS, on the call. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Philip.
All right, everybody. I believe we're about ready to get started here. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. My name's Philip Long, and I'm the CEO of Business Information Solutions. And the topic for today is going to be manage your time and your inbox. Of course, I'm the CEO, and I'm going to be putting on the presentation. I appreciate you guys joining in, taking time out of your day. I know that's very important. And kind of want to set the tone for what we're doing here. I want to show, and really this is kind of a give back kind of a feature set that we want to do. This is just something to show you guys how to use some of the products we may have sold you or that you may be using with another vendor. And we want to help people be more effective with their technology. That's really the goal. And Christy's going to be moderating the event, and I'm actually in New Orleans. It's the beauty of technology is I'm sitting in a hotel down in the French Quarter on a hotspot, being able to do this. So I'm on a council down here that I do for a disaster recovery team, and so I'm working while I'm working out of town, so it's really neat. This is something new to you guys, some of you, in that the BIS Technology Group logo, and really we're really a larger company than what some of you might know about us, and we've taken it and kind of broken the company into pieces, and we've got, of course, leaders in each of the divisions, but we're doing more of a consultative type of selling, and that's the consulting phase. We're doing a lot with security and auditing, as well as some team building types things in the consulting division. Then, of course, our BIS Designs is our marketing arm, and then BIS, Business Information Solutions, is the technology portion. And then, of course, we have BIS Office Systems that we're an authorized Kyocera and Canon dealer. All right, so let's set a couple of goals for this presentation. And what we want to do today is we really want to learn how to manage our time better and our inbox, email inbox, and we're actually going to gain a level of security and work more efficiently throughout this topic today as we go through this presentation. All right, so the agenda is we're going to reduce the time by sorting your inbox. We're going to show you how to share your calendar with others. We're going to show you how to synchronize multiple devices, as well as meet security compliance with email encryption. Now, some of this is done behind the scenes. I'm just going to show you how it kind of rolls out and talk about the benefits of the actual tools and how they work. Now, one thing that we want to understand, I want everybody to understand, is that we are using Microsoft Exchange and not actually using POP email. And really the difference between POP email and Exchange email is that POP email is designed to go to an email server and then be downloaded onto your device, whereas Exchange is more of a sync. The mail never leaves the server per se. It just syncs to all of your additional devices. And I'm sure if we asked how many folks here today had more than one device, everyone on the call would raise their hand, because we all have, I don't know how many I have, probably 4 or 5 places that I'm checking my email. And it really just doesn't work anymore with POP with that many devices. POP email was designed to have one user at one location. And I see Tammy has raised her hand here, and I'm going to let Christy kind of map those questions out and then talk to her along the way here. You see, I'm kind of putting some of my emails over into an actionable folder, and I'm just going to show you. This is Microsoft Outlook, which interfaces with the Exchange. And I run a Mac. You can kind of see my Macintosh down here, but I'm actually logging into a terminal server and running Office Outlook 2013 more for the demo purposes, because I know most of you guys are going to be on a Microsoft Windows platform and not a Mac platform. So if you look here, you can see I have a lot of folders, and I'm big on folders and how they're managed, because it keeps me from having to go looking all throughout an incredibly large. You can see I have almost 156,000 email addresses in my account. So I have a very large email account, which is another reason why you want to go to Exchange and not POP, is that the database for your email can be a lot larger. So what I want to do first is I just want to show you how you can create one of these folders. Of course, you just go to the top here under Inbox, you right mouse click, pretty simple, new folder, and you name the folder. That's really all there is to it. And if you want it to go and put something, of course, you can see there's nothing in that folder, but if you want it to put something in that folder, you can just simply come over here and just drag it, hold your button down and your left mouse button, pull it over, drag it, let it go, and that'll automatically go into that folder. Now there's some other ways, and I'm going to show you how to create rules within your inbox here. All right, so I right mouse click on the particular email that I want to create a rule with. And then I'm going to come down here and simply go to rules and then create rule. All right, and there's some options I have here as far as pertaining to this particular email that I have I've highlighted here. And I can have it from, for instance, if I want it anytime calendar notification at outlook.com sends me an email, I can do some things with it. And or a particular word in the subject line, and it's sent to me only. And I can come down here and I can select a folder. Say I just want to move that into a folder, and I want to move that into the test folder. So now if I click there and I click OK, it's going to pop up this box. And it says, hey, I've just created this rule that says anything from calendar notification at outlook.com, it's going to go to basically this test folder that I just did. And if I check this box and click OK, it's going to sort through all 156,000 emails that I have to see if this calendar notification at outlook.com has been created. And if it's been created anywhere else in any other places, and then it'll automatically put it in that test folder. I don't want to run that because it will take some time for that to run through. But now anytime from here on out, if Outlook calendar notification sends me an email, it'll automatically go into that folder. And really, you can just go down to any folder that you want to do. Say I wanted to do a rule for Rick Cooper. That I could set it up and put it in any one of these folders over here. One thing to note about doing that, whenever you're checking it on your smartphone, if you do that on your smartphone, it will not show up in your main screen that you see on your smartphone or your tablet. It'll actually automatically put it in the folder, and you'll have to hit the button and go search it. So there's certain things that if I want to know, like on my smartphone, if it's happening, I will not put a rule that automatically put it there, but rather I'll just drag and drop it over into the folder after the fact. Because what I don't want to do is miss emails while I'm on the road. So that's one thing I wanted to kind of go over, was the creation of folders as well as rules, because that's an automated process that you can put in place where you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. You notice that I have an actionable. This is one of my key folders. Like usually, I don't like having a ton of email. I only have 11, which is really good because I'm out of town. But I don't like a lot of unread emails. So I use the unreadness of an email to tell me that I need to do something with it. So, and if I have a lot of them, what I'll do is I'll just drop them over here and keep them unread. And you can see I have 3 unread in here, and those are actionable items. That means I've got to do something. And normally, if I put it in that folder, that is going to be within 1 business day. I have to um, do something with that. Those are kind of some rules that I have set up in the way that I use my inbox. One other thing that I want to show you is how to turn off your notifications. That is one of the biggest distractions. One of the things that I really am pushing with my team is, touch it once, complete it when you touch it, and don't be distracted. I think common etiquette on for most people now, some positions their job is to watch the email and they don't need to turn off their notification. But for me, I feel like if anybody needs me in shorter than 4 hours or even 8 hours, I try to respond within 4 hours is my rule. But up to 8 hours, I figure if they need me sooner than that, they'll call me. So I I don't like my notification coming on because I get easily distracted. And one way to turn your notification off is you go up where I just went to up in the top corner under File, and if you go underneath Options, there's this, Outlook is full of options and ways that you can sort and do things. But what I want to show you is on Mail, and down here upon Message Arrival, I would uncheck Play a Sound. I would uncheck show the little envelope in the taskbar, and to not show the desktop alert, because what you're doing is you're being distracted. I was with a client of mine the other day, and he had just read that even the your cell phone on your desk, they say that people are 20% less attentive uh, whenever they just have their cell phone out on top of their desk, because their focus is not on what they're doing 100%. They're more focused, or there's a percentage of their focus. I think he said it was like, 12 or 20% of it was waiting on that cell phone to go ding. Those devices are very needy, as well as email is very needy. If you got to tame your technology, is what I say. All right. So that's 2 things that I think are crucial to doing, to being successful and using your time wisely. One other thing that I think is really powerful that can be done inside of Exchange is sharing your calendar. And this is my particular calendar right here, that of the events that I have going on. And you can see, I'm at a partner council here in New Orleans, and here was the events of the day that I didn't do. And of course, this is the event to tell me that I got to do right now, and so on and so forth. Well, one thing that you can do with your calendar on Microsoft Exchange is you can right mouse click on the calendar. You can go under Share, and you just go into Share Permissions, Calendar Permissions. And from here, you can set other people in your organization to have ownership of your calendar or the ability to view it. And I'm going to show you some things. Like currently, me personally, it's much more effective for my team to look at my calendar and say, okay, he's got time here, he's got time there. And rather than them ping pong back and forth with whoever they're trying to get me an appointment to see that I need to go see, I just give them permission to view my calendar, and they will just put something on my calendar for me to go do. Now, of course, you've got to have all those details worked out. I often tell them, don't send me to Biloxi and then to Pensacola with a 1 hour travel time in between. So you got to train them a little bit, but I tell you, it's very popular and very powerful that they have that. Now, Faye Connor, for instance, she's a one of our representatives here, and she has permission level. She has full permission level. You can see I could set this to where she could really only see whether I'm free or busy, and it would, like, all the wording would go away. And then she could see the subject line where basically it just show a block of time allocated if I had it on free busy. This would show the subject line, and this will show the full details where she could actually go, and it's just like I have Kevin's calendar shared here. She would click underneath her calendar, would be my calendar, and she could actually double click on those. She could add events, and she has the permissions to delete her own. Anything she creates, she created these appointments over here, she could go in and delete them. And she can create items, she can create subfolders, and she can edit her own. I could make it to where she could edit all of them, and so on and so forth. So that's a very easy way that you can do. And then what she would do is go and add a calendar whenever she went there underneath calendars. She would go, let me see here, it's under the whole calendar, and she would just go underneath the main heading here of calendars. She'd right mouse click, she'd add a calendar, um, or she'd open a shared calendar, and she would simply put in my name right here, and it would show up. So really pretty simple to do, very powerful. And you can see here that, like, right now I have both boxes checked, and we have I can see Kevin's calendar of what he has going on his calendar. There's also another calendar here that Rick has shared out for projects. This is a shared calendar amongst teammates so that we can see what projects are coming up in the future for us and that we have to do. All right, I'm going to pause just a second, and I'm going to see if there's any questions or anything that anybody might have. Let's see here. Well, Diane, I hope somebody was able to get to her. Any questions so far? If y'all put them in, like, the group chat. Or Christy, have you got everybody unmuted?
Philip, I don't. At the moment, we're having some difficulties. A few people aren't able to access to see the presentation, but I will try to unmute everyone.
Okay, if you'll do that, and then that way, what I'd like everybody to do is I want to go ahead and unmute it, and then let everyone where they can speak. But if you're not speaking,
Just one moment, please.
mute your mic so that we don't hear a lot of background noise, and then that way we can kind of have a conversation from here, because there's probably going to be some things that y'all have specific questions, and I can drive out and show you how to do it. So you want me to go through? I'll go through and help you start unmuting them as well. Okay, maybe she did it.
Everyone should be unmuted.
All right, great. Thank
Everyone
you.
should be unmuted.
Okay, so any questions so far? I've got a few more things I want to kind of go over, but any other questions that y'all would like to see about Microsoft Outlook? Any challenges you guys are having? Want to try to work out?
Can the boxes be have different email accounts?
You talking about here, the folders?
No, well, I guess so. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different email addresses.
Sure. Normally the way those would show up would be like, I'm just going to shrink this, and you see how I have Philip Long here, and then This is all of the accounts that go with Philip Long. There would be another one here. Let's say I had a Philip Long 2.
Well, I do, and I have 4 of those.
Sure. Is that the way you like it?
Well, I'd rather them all come to one inbox where then I can create the rule to put it wherever I want to put it. Because there's different reasons why I have different email. I represent different companies, but I don't really need to see them as separate companies when I do my work, but the people who email me
Sure.
do.
Absolutely. Yes, it depends on how big, and I'll go a little technical on you. I'll try not to go too deep, but um, you you have the ability, and I think mine's set up. I want to show. Let me see if I don't have mine set up, but you can have the. I don't have it set up here, but let me show you on my. I'm gonna pop open my email on my Mac, and I'll show you that I have the ability to come here, and if I want to send an email on someone else's behalf, I can. So that's another kind of.
I understand that. I can choose which account it goes from. I just like if all my email comes in, I don't really, it's insignificant to me where it came from, but as it's set up now, it goes into, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 inboxes, 1, 2, 3, 4 deleted, 1, 2, 3, 4 sent.
Yes.
And I'd rather them all be combined, and then I create my own folders, but I can't get rid of the accounts.
There's a couple of ways you could address that. Of course, we could take all of the mail, and basically it depends on how large the mailbox is, because like we started talking how this is Exchange, and they all have to go into the account, so they'd have to all sync back to the server under the one account. So we'd have to come out, we'd have to back up all of the additional accounts, restore them in the main account, and then we could do what we call an alias as all of those other accounts. We could do an alias so that, like, for instance, mine is, my email address is plong at askbis, but I also have another one that is philip.long at askbis. Well, both of those accounts will come into this one account. So you could make all of the other ones aliases, and then put rules to have, plong 2, plong 3, plong 4. You could have rules to make those flow into folders.
But if the email account is generated from a different server, I won't be able to do that.
No, not unless there's some ways you could do that, in that you could take the mail. Say you got one that's with Yahoo, one that's with Gmail, and one that's with Bell South Mail, or something like that. You could take those and forward them to a new account.
Also prepay for the rest of 2015.
Okay, all right. We'll give it to Mr. Van.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. So you could forward those accounts to new accounts, and then manage it that way. And then as you kind of set up your as you move forward, as you respond, you would be they would begin to see that you have a new email address. Does that make sense?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well,
I'm smart enough to understand it if I grasp what you were trying to say. I can't change the server. So the companies come from different places in the States, and they're just different from different programs. But I'm related to each one of those companies, so I have an email address related to them.
Yeah, you could forward those, and a lot of times even.
What do you mean by forward?
Underneath the web portal setting, you can go in and you can forward your email I'm gonna pop into to ours just to kind of show you.
Okay, all right.
You could go underneath the portal under most email accounts, and you can go underneath the options. And usually there's a place, I really haven't looked at it on Exchange, because I would actually do it in a different place underneath the way that we would do it from the server side. This is from the client side, but usually there is a place in here where we can go and we can forward that mail to a different mailbox.
Okay.
and you just have to go find where it is. I'm sorry, I didn't have that one. I would do it in a different place, but um, there's a place somewhere in here where you would just basically take that email and you would forward it to another email account. Like, what is the domain? Like, give me are these like Bell South mails, or these, like domain mails with a particular company, or are they?
They are, Community Senior Life, my Homestead Village account, Live Oak Village, and they're just different servers.
Yeah, it's a little more challenging in that they are absolutely on different servers. If they were all on one Exchange server, it'd be a lot easier. But the only way I can think of would be to go in and to go to the web portal, or either have the administrator who manages the emails forward them all to one account, and then you can sort them by rules like we were discussing.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Anything else y'all want to see? All right. Well, I want to go into one other area too that I think is really essential. It's becoming more and more prevalent in the market, that people need to be using secure email. And secure email is more difficult. I always say that security and usability are basically at odds with one another. But we have a really easy way with our mail system, in that if I put in this particular code right here, this just happens to be the way we have our domain, but if I put that sequence of wording, capitalization has to be written exactly like that, any mail that I send will be encrypted. And basically what that looks like is the user on the other end will get a link, and they click on, it's kind of like how you probably had your bank or whatever. The user clicks on it, and they're taken to a secure web portal. They have to create a password one time, and then they can retrieve their mail from there. So that's another very simple way to be compliant. A lot of people are not compliant, and I do a lot in the medical space, but it's that they call it personal identifiable information, PII, and that is such a broad statement, because what could identify you? What do you send in your company that could identify one of your clients, fellow employees, or so on and so forth? It's really, you send a lot of stuff, and most people, when I begin to speak with them, they're like, yeah, we never send anything. And then whenever you go in and you kind of do a scan and you look and you talk to them about it, they're like, wow, we really do. But using our platform, we have a very easy way to send a secure email. And really, that's all that it amounts to, is putting that in there. And then that email just went out and it was 100% secure. Any questions on that?
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's even more ways to do it. You can put certain words. You can have the system itself search the body, for instance, for date of birth. And if it sees a date of birth in there, it would automatically encrypt it without the user even having to do anything, or a social security number, or a credit card number. So there's a lot of features that are in the mail settings, the mail servers today, that will actually do the encryption for you without even having the end user, the not the end user as far as the email goes, but the end user who's going to receive the email, but the end user who's going to use the email system. They don't even have to really know. If they send out something with a credit card, it's automatically going to see it's secure, or a date of birth, or so on and so forth. There's another tool that we use in our system a lot, as far as the sending of mail, and even like large documents and things. And we call it BIS Cloud Sync. And it has a plug-in that plugs into your Outlook. And from here, I can come in here and say, I want to send you a very large file. Hold on, give me 1 second. That's probably Christy there. Let's see. She tells me my voice is breaking up a little bit, and I'm sorry, but I'm actually, again, I'm on a hotspot, and I'm not maybe getting the greatest reception. But turn off all my email and everything so I don't use up any more bandwidth than I need. But from here, we can go, and this is a little add-in to our Cloud Sync program, and I can come here and I can attach a file. And I can attach any file that I have myself, as well as any share I have with the rest of the team that I have permission to. And like, I'll go to this stock photos because I'm sure that these are going to be very large. And I can come in here and I can select some of these files. And I can also have some settings that will notify me on download. For instance, if I'm going to send something that's a time-sensitive document or something, I can send it out, and then I can know whenever the person, the recipient of the email, opens the mail, because it'll tell me whenever they download these things. I can also set download limits, and that can be used in a way that's, I don't want that link to be downloaded more than 1 time or 10 times or whatever. And you can also have it to where it can expire after, say, 1 day, 2 days, something like that. I work with a builder, and whenever they release a bid, the drawing files are very large. So they use this tool, and then he'll set the expiration date to say, like, if the bid's going to be over in 15 days, he'll set the expiration date so that the people aren't continuing to download those files and things of that nature. Pretty much that link becomes dead. And then you click OK, and it's just going to populate all of the things here in links. So this could be, I don't know how big these files are exactly, but this could be way more than I could email, and I can send them out. And everything is done with 256-bit AES encryption, so it's very secure. This is another means by which you can secure your email. First subject here. So basically, I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second. It will sync that, and you see this, and then you see all of these files that I just sent. And in order, all I have to do is click on them, and if I click on them, of course, it'll download them, and then it will report back to me that I just downloaded that file.
Hey, Sue, this is Kenny Jordan. My phone number is 201-599-2926.
All right. If you would, please remember we've got the mics open, so if you're going to be chatting or whatever, please remember to mute your mic. Okay. That's really what I wanted to accomplish today, was just to kind of show some of those features. Number one big thing is turn off that email that's reminding you every time an email comes in, because even in the time that we have been on this call, starting at 2 o'clock, you can see that I have, basically 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, that's 18 emails that I would have had to been distracted, which would have meant that every few minutes I would be ding, and I'd be looking down, ding, I'd be looking down. And, if we continue to operate in that capacity, we burn out a lot faster, as well as we get a whole lot less done. All right. So, are there any questions? Anything you guys would like to to get a demo on or anything like that while we're together? Let me see here. I'll tell you what I can do. I just
Hey, Philip.
yeah.
I know we had a few questions that came in. Let me pull those up really fast.
All right, cool. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to show y'all what an encrypted email looks from a sender side as well. That email that I sent myself that I encrypted, I'll show you what it looks like. Basically, that the subject line is you have an encrypted message. Okay, and then there's a plugin that I didn't have enabled. I'm using Safari, so you won't see that with what you're using, but what you see here is you have an encrypted message and it says security services from BIS, and it usually tells you exactly what you need to do. And then to view your secure email, click here, or you can cut and paste this in the browser. It tells you that this message will expire in 30 days. So if I go and click on that, I'm going to go to the encryption site. It's going to ask me for a password. And then you can see this is the actual mail that I sent. So I know people don't like have to go do that, but you can see it's really quite easy to manage it. You just you click on it, you go there, you create a password. That's one time that you create that password, and then from then on, you don't have to. You just put in you put in that password, and you have access to these mail. All right, Christy, what kind of messages do we have? Our questions, rather.
Here's what we've got. We had one person say they were interested in learning more about synchronizing devices, between a tablet, a phone, that kind of thing.
Okay. All right, we'll take them one at a time. And I really, again, I can't show you exactly how to do that on this webinar because I really need to have a device in my hand, like a phone. But and it's totally different with pop mail versus exchange. And I'll go over that one more time. But basically, you set up your account on your phone or your tablet or your home computer or really wherever else you want to do it, even the web portal. And once you set up, you put those few settings in there, it's a lot easier setting up an exchange account than a pop account because it has auto discovery. You put in your email address and your password, and it really sets the account up for you automatically. And once you have that set up, I can kind of demonstrate it here. Like you see this is basically showing you that I have this one account that is here is on my Outlook. This is on Outlook on the server, which is in Microsoft, and then here is one for Mac. And of course, Macs, I'll have to let this one sync here for just a second. Once it downloads the new messages, and I go and I select that I read this message here, it'll show red, these two or whatever, they'll show red on the other device automatically. Another great thing for guys that are traveling or whatever, you can go to your calendar, and if I put in a calendar event on a particular date, and I put in the details about what I'm doing or whatever, it automatically will push to my phone, my tablet, the cloud, the web portal, everywhere. So anything that I do in any place is replicated on every device automatically. So you're not having to. I know that with Pop Email, I was just working with a client the other day, and they would send mail from his phone while he was out of town from his, and then those sent items were not in his sent items on his desktop whenever he came back to the office. So it was a real challenge for him. Like, you can click on sent items, and the things that I've sent from my phone today will actually be here, just like I had sent them from here. So I'm trying to, I guess, relate that it's the same. Anything you do in any place syncs with every other location. Any more questions on that? Did I answer that?
Mhm.
Okay. We had another question, which was on the calendar under categorize, can you set up different colors or different job types and it be shared with everyone in the office?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. You can, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm sort this down a little more granularly, so that we'll click on a under my view here. I'm going to do it by, I'll just do it by the day, so that and all I did really, I just went underneath view, and you can do it by the work week or the day or the month and so on and so forth. I just sorted it by the day, and I'm going to I'm going to add something just to kind of represent that. Now, on a shared calendar, of course, you could just change the color. You right mouse click, you change the category to blue. Well, this is a calendar that is not mine. I don't own this one. This is Rick's calendar, so I don't have permissions to that one. So I'll go back to my calendar here, and if I wanted to say this was a something here, and I wanted to set it as a different color, like say orange or any other color, I just click yes, and now it shows up. So yes, you can put some diversity in your color schemes to show that it's a different item. Actually, if we were to go into that project calendar, that was one of the things that we do based on what phase of the project we're in. We have things broken out, and we represent the phase by color. So absolutely, you can do that, and that is you can do it up here underneath appointment, or you can just simply right mouse click on the event. And this is also, if I wanted to invite somebody to this particular event, I just put in their email address, and they'll receive a calendar invite. That if they click, then it'll put it into their calendar as well. Did I answer that question?
Yes, and I believe that is all we did have a question from Tammy. Unfortunately, she's not able to join because the screen won't. She's not allowed to see the screen sharing. Some issue with Fuse, but she had a question about how do I send my unread messages as unread to a folder that I can deal with later in the day, and then get them out of the unread folder.
Yeah, this is one of my things that I do. I'm very much, email is about, it has surpassed the importance of phone in most offices in today's environment. If, if you had, people would rather do without their phone than their email, in a lot of offices. So really all you do is, of course, this means it's unread, it's colored, and you just highlight it and move it. Like I was moving mine into that actionable folder, and you see it went from 3 to 4. So you can see Faye is sending me a read receipt, so that that's another feature that you can have in here, so that if you want to know that they've read your message, you can go in and send a read receipt. But basically, all I'm doing on this is just moving it into a particular folder, and then when I go back into my actionable folder, there they are, and they're still unread. That's one of my tools that I use to make sure I don't miss any emails. Is I will take them and drag them over into that folder, so they'll all be in one place and be read with it. My goal at the end of the day is to have absolutely nothing in here in the main body, the main inbox, that is been read. We do have a special for those that took the time to join us today. Let me pop over onto it. Let's see what it is. So the first 3 companies that sign up, they get 2 free months of hosted exchange. Or if you'd like to continue the conversation and really get to the nuts and bolts of how Microsoft Exchange will help your organization, and maybe if you're on Pop Mail and you're kind of hitting the wall with it, pretty much my take on that is if you have a mobile device and you have if you're checking your email in more than one place, you probably ought to go to Exchange. But if you want to kind of continue that conversation, if you'll email me, I will follow up with that. But the first 3 folks that email me and say, yeah, we want to look at going to Exchange, I'll give you 2 months free on the Exchange platform. And only the first 3 that sign up. Here's my contact information if you guys would like to email me or call me or ask any kind of questions, please don't hesitate. All right. So I think we're pretty much going to wrap it up, Christy. I want to kind of reiterate again that we want to make these things very informative for you guys. And we're very much engaged in the what we're calling thought leadership. And we're going to have some events coming up that have actually been crafted by a lot of our clients, and they're asking questions about, hey, you need to have an event on this. This is interesting to me. So I encourage you guys to communicate with us and let us know what are the topics, what are the challenges that you're facing. And, one of the things that brings me the most satisfaction in what I do is being able to find solutions that help our clients solve the challenges and by use of technology. So, Chrissy, what is our next event that is coming up? When's the next event?
Our next event coming up is actually going to be our luncheon on basically hurricane preparation, such as backup and disaster recovery, and what you need to have in your office to be able to survive a hurricane, so that all your data wouldn't be washed away. So let me pull up that date. It's April 15th.
Okay. Where's it going to be? Is it a webinar or is it?
It's a luncheon, so it's going to be at the Original Oyster House on the Causeway.
All right, great. And you guys will be receiving an email. If you're not on our email chain, email me and I'll make sure you are as far as that goes. But that's actually where I am now. Is I sit on a council for a disaster recovery company that we use, and every year they take us somewhere, and we are discussing really the challenges and some of the newer technologies that are coming out. It's really been an exciting day. I'll be here today and tomorrow. It's been a very exciting day. I've learned a lot, and the technology is moving forward in being able to restore files even faster and be able to compress data even tighter, which would in turn really help you guys because you don't have to store as much off-site, and it saves you money, and also the being able to restore it quicker, of course, is always better because if there's a file lost or something wrong, we can get it back a lot quicker. So it's been a good meeting so far. But there's my contact information. Again, you guys know I'm always available. Been traveling quite a bit, so maybe I've been a little slower on the uptake on response, but I will get back with you. If you email me or call me, just let me know. And I appreciate you guys coming out. Have a very wonderful rest of the afternoon and rest of the week.